Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at a Zoids kit, and this is the Heavy Arms Konig Wolf HMM kit from Kotobukiya, and you may be wondering, why does the box look so awful? It's because, if you guys weren't aware, here in Florida recently we had Hurricane Milton, and everything in the warehouse here at USA Gundam Store was fine except for a handful of this kit. Some of them got wet. Now, obviously, the contents inside, all the plastic parts are in plastic bags, so they're perfectly fine. But the boxes got a little wet and a little soggy, and they're like coming apart and pretty nasty looking. So if you guys are going to be in the area and wanting to pick up this kit, we are actually going to be having all these waterlogged ones, which are all dry now, I should say, available in the storefront here at a heavily discounted price just because of the boxes. So if you wanted to pick up this kit, now's a good time if you don't care that much about the box. Now, the only issue aside from the box is that we might have trouble with the instruction manual, but let's go ahead and check it out here for today's review. Alright, so the box is kind of trashed, but we'll take a look here at this. We got some really cool box art there on the front with a couple of units there, and you can see some enemy units getting blown up and everything. So some really cool artwork here, which is the norm for Kotobukiya's high-end master model line of kits here in 1/72 scale. If we take a look on the ends of the box, on this side we just have an image of the model kit. You can see this is number 57 in this lineup, and then if we take a look here on the other side, it's just a cropped version of the box art there. On what would be the bottom of the box here, we got to look at a couple of options there for the head, how that can look, how the kit's going to look all built and painted up there front and back. We are going to have some waterslide decals included, which I think should be fine. Shouldn't be damaged due to water because those are usually individually wrapped, and so those should be okay. But we'll find out about that here in a moment. And there's a couple other looks at the cannon there in particular on the back. If we go around here to what would be the top of the box, we got a really nice illustration there of the unit and some text there in Japanese. And if we go over here, we could find the MSRP coming in at 15,800 yen. So it is going to be on the pricier side. It is a pretty large kit. And yeah, now to our mess here. Obviously, all the runners, everything's going to be fine. Everything's wrapped in plastic. Even if it wasn't, the water is not going to damage the plastic, but what I am worried about is the instruction manual here, which is on the bottom of the box. Not ideal. And I think if it's something that like these model kit companies, Bandai, Kotobukiya, could do something about, I think the reason why they put the manual on the bottom is because then it's guaranteed to stay flat. I think if they put it on the top, it might be on top of some like uneven runners and the manual might come out kind of a little bit uneven maybe. Although, if you ever have any kind of leak or water damage, on the bottom of the box is the place where you don't want it to be. So I've had this happen to me before, that I've had boxes get leaked on or something like that, or just get water damage, and the manuals being at the bottom is not ideal. But let's see our water slide decals here. These guys are perfectly fine being here in a sealed wrapping and looking really nice. We got a lot of great decals here for this in white, black, red, and yellow there. So just a bunch of caution markings and different markings, logo markings, and things that we can use on this. So that's really cool. But yeah, it looks like our instruction manual, which is actually still a little damp, it got stuck to the bottom here, and I just kind of already tried lifting this off, and it didn't work out. So our very last page here got stuck to the bottom of the box there, unfortunately. But on the page here preceding that, it's just our color guide here, which is not too big of a deal. So our color guide right there, and we don't actually have a decal guide, even though we have decals. That's how it goes with these Zoids kits. Even when the ones that include decals, I don't think that they ever include a decal guide. I've not seen one anyway. But yeah, a couple pages here kind of stuck together, unfortunately. Some of the illustration pages, which feature some really cool illustrations there, like mechanical illustrations of some different parts of the design. There's like legs. These pages are okay, but so long as the actual construction pages aren't messed up is the problem. As you can see, these ones are a little bit. This is like the very end of the construction. You can find scans of the instructions online usually, so that's kind of what you may have to rely on if you like lose your instructions or if they're damaged in this way. Now, most of the pages seem to be kind of okay. Like these ones still stuck together there a little bit. That's not very good, but most of them I think are gonna be all right. Yeah, some of these still stuck together a little bit there at the bottom. But anyway, just going back up to the front of the manual, let's see here. These pages, unfortunately, got a little stuck together as well, just because, yeah, they're still kind of wet. That's a shame here. So we had a nice image there, and then just a bunch of text, all this text in Japanese, kind of about the story and unit there, I guess. So that's unfortunate. On the next page, some more of that, just kind of a guide to what the different parts are here. Some of our illustrations. Yeah, again, really cool illustrations, but unfortunately, some of these got a little damage there as well. The parts guide, and yeah, all of our construction. So, all right, I'm going to try to air that out a bit. Hopefully we don't have any more damage with the pages of that. All right, so let's get into the runners here. We do have some polycaps in brown, 2 of this polycap runner, and then a few more here on this one. And for some smaller bagged up runners here, we've got runner P, which is our actually two of those for our seated pilot figures in there. We've got runner Su here for one little molded silver part there as well. Runner V is another little part there in this kind of dark brown color, and then our Zoids core here in like clear orange. And then a couple more small runners here in clear. We have plain clear or a clear orange here, so you have some options for these. That'd be runners Chi, looks like Ta, and then also Ke. There. All right, then runner A here is going to be some more parts there in that brown color. That's going to be kind of like the inner frame color here for this one, but we also got some really nice molded gold here on runner B as well. And then for the bulk of our blue armor pieces, we've got these here on runners C, D, E, and F. So runner C here, runner D, runner E, and then we've got 2 of runner F there as well. And runners G, H, and I are some more of the larger pieces for the inner frame. You can see, just as usual with the line, a ton of detail on these parts. Runner J here we have 2 of for some more molded gold parts, and runner K we have some teeth parts here in a nice molded silver. Runner L we have 3 of here in orange for those joint cap parts here. The runners M, N, O, and Q are going to be some more parts here for the frame in browns. There's runner M, runner N, we have 2 of right here. Runner O, we have 2 of there as well. Runner P was our pilot figures, then runner Q here, a few more parts on there. Runner R here in gold is going to be our parts for the claws, and then some more parts here for the frame in dark brown. We've got runner S, runners T, U, and then runner V we saw, so then runner W we have 2 of here, and then runner X as well. And then once again, runners Y and Z are again some parts here in molded gold and molded silver there. Those look really nice. And so once we got to the end of the English alphabet, now we transition over to the Japanese katakana alphabet. Another reason why I've said many times before, it's helpful to have some background knowledge of Japanese katakana at least. It can be very helpful. So here we have runners A, I, U, A, O. Runner A here we have in both plain clear or clear orange there, so you have some options. Runner E we have 2 of there in molded silver. Runners U and E are going to be here in gray and like a softer plastic here for like ammo belt there, so that's pretty cool. And then runner O, here's a few more parts there in molded gold. Runner K, here's a few more parts there in blue. Runner Ki, a few parts here in white for some missiles. Runner Ku, here some parts in a kind of dark silver, dark molded silver, kind of gunmetal sort of looking color here. And runner K, we saw runner Ko is here for a few more parts in gray. And then lastly, runners Sa, Shi, Su, Se, So here in gray for the first couple there. Another runner here in gray. One more runner here in brown, and then a last runner there in blue. And that's it for all of the runners. Let's go ahead and check out the kit. All right, guys, and here is the kit all built up. Really cool. A really nice size as usual. I was expecting it to actually be slightly larger, so I guess somewhat disappointed that it wasn't a little bit larger than it is, but it is a really nice size and also really solid construction here with this. And that's a little bit of a pro and a con. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but it did feel slightly simpler in its construction compared to some of the other Zoids kits that I've built in the past from this line. That said, it still maintains the really high level of detail, really high level of articulation, as we'll see here, but it seems like they've just simplified the construction of it down a little bit with the fewer parts, and I guess that probably means that it's just going to be a more solid kit at the end of the day, less prone to having parts falling off or anything like that. So it's all for the best, really. But let's go ahead and take a look at it in some more detail here, starting off with some accessories. And this is another kit, of course, that doesn't really have a whole lot of accessories, but we have some option parts. Basically, just as a reminder, for all the clear parts, you have them available in clear orange, which is what I've used for the kit. But if you did want to paint them in another color or just use them in plain clear, all the clear parts you have have, except for the Zoids core part, you have in plain clear. You also have the option parts here for the other type of the head. So this version of the head is the single pilot version. The single pilot version has the ears here, which are nicely articulated. You can move those around up and down, kind of turn them slightly, and then obviously opening up the cockpit hatch there, we've got a single pilot inside. So this is our single pilot version, but the version here for making the double pilot or the two pilot version has that big clear canopy part there on the top. Obviously two pilot characters inside. There's going to be two seats inside, and it doesn't use the ears, but it has these kind of cool antennas. I'll show you a picture there on the screen so you guys can see that. I opted with this version just because this is what's on the box art, but honestly the two pilot version does sound pretty cool, so I might switch that up later. Other than that, the only other option parts that we have are going to be for the missile pods here that are going to go like on the sides of the forearms, the four legs. So actually we're going to switch these parts here on the front. There's going to be a different part for like the front of the leg that has this kind of like little camera bit there at the top. And this part attaches here on the side instead of that piece. And I'll switch this up here in just a moment so you guys can see how this is going to look on the kit. But that's just basically going to replace these couple of parts there on like the front shoulder for these two missile pods. And these can of course open up. And we've got some nice detail inside here for those, so those look pretty good for adding some additional artillery onto there. But that is it for all of our option parts. Let's talk a little bit more here about the main kit. There's obviously, like I said, a lot of articulation here built into this, and I'll just try to show that to you guys some more here once we take a look at some poses with this. The mouth can obviously open up, and then for like the sniping mode, this part here on the back of the head folds over, and you kind of have to tuck the ears in like that so that those are out of the way. So that folds over the front, and then you have a nice clear part there on the front of that too. And that actually looks really cool. I like how that looks. And then our main cannons also then fold to the front like that and also extend out. Actually, I already had them extended out. So there's in and extended out like that is how those are going to work, and looks really cool. This, of course, we can adjust the angle. We have a couple of points of articulation to adjust this up and down, and then of course it can be rotated left and right here as well. These bits here at the back can also be adjusted up and down, kind of like exhaust sort of, I guess is what those are meant to be. The tail has a couple of points of articulation. I do wish that this tail was maybe a little bit more articulated, had another joint to swing more. Basically the only way this swings left and right is just the main peg that it's connected in up there into the body. Otherwise, it just basically moves up and down slightly. And we've also got a joint here in the middle of the body that will allow that to bend side to side there as well. And we have those flexible parts, one going here between like the front and back half of the torso, and the other one going here kind of between the head and the base of the torso for those flexible kind of belt parts there. And the legs are super articulated as well. Here, of course, the shoulder will move in and out, up and down. You can rotate that, and then each of these joints is going to have additional articulation here as well. You have some really nice like piston details here. None of those are actually working pistons. They're just like there just for detail. And then up underneath, you'll notice that there is a hard point for plugging this onto an action base. That is going to be a larger one though, so this is not going to work with like your standard 3mm peg. You're gonna have to use that with what looks like it's more like a 5mm or something like that. Actually, I want to test this here with the Bandai action base just without any connection piece attached onto the top of that, just to see if that's going to fit, but no, not really. So anyway, one last thing that I will show you guys, this right here, if you tilt the head up, if you pull this part out, this is what's going to hold our Zoid core part in there like that, and that just kind of slides up underneath the front of the neck there. One last thing, just because I did mention about the size of this, the head height's going to be around 10 centimeters to like the top of the body, to the top of the cannons there, about 15 centimeters, and the nose to tail length is going to be about 30 centimeters in total length there. So like I said, it's pretty in line with other Zoids kits, I think similar to like the couple of Liger kits that I've built. I don't know, for some reason I had heard that this one was a little bit larger or something, so that's why I was thinking that this was going to be slightly larger, but anyway, it's still a nice size, and like I said, packed with a ton of detail here. As you can see, I mean, that's just one thing that's been a standard of this line, is that they're super, super detailed. But like I said, it was somewhat less complex of a build than other Zoids kits that I've built before, and like I said, that could be either a pro or con, kind of depending on how you look at it. Honestly, I think the fact that this is less complex probably just makes it a more solid kit. Like I said before, less prone to small parts falling off or anything that's kind of being more of a hassle when it comes to the construction of the kit. Not that the other kits were like difficult to build or like annoying to build or anything, but some of those small parts, you do have to be a little bit more careful with it. This is one that I feel like you could definitely be a little bit more rough with, and you're not going to have anything like coming apart or falling off or anything like that. So ultimately, at the end of the day, for me, it really just comes down to the fact that is the kit going to look good, and this kit looks fantastic. It's super detailed. And it looks really complex, even if there's not as many parts in there as we might have seen on a different kit. Now, that said, the other thing that I think is important to consider with this is also the price. This is a pretty expensive kit, so it does feel a little bit overpriced considering the fact that there's a lot of stuff in the box, and I would have to go back and check the actual part count, but it's definitely felt putting the kit together that it didn't have quite as many parts as some of the other kits in the line, and to be priced similarly, if not slightly more than some other kits, and have kind of less parts as it feels like. It does feel like it's maybe a little bit overpriced, but again, that really is just going to come down to you personally, how you feel about it, if the price is justified for it or not. I think it's a really cool kit. It looks fantastic, and if this is a kit that if you agree on those points and you feel like this is a kit that you definitely want to pick up for yourself, then it's just a matter of if you feel like the price is worth it to you or not. Personally, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this kit? Another really awesome kit in the line for sure. And I also got the Firefox Marking Plus version that I'm going to be building for you guys soon. So for those of you guys who are fans of these Kotobukiya HMM Zoids model kit reviews, definitely stick around. You make sure that you're subscribed and maybe hit that notification bell if you want to make sure not to miss that. I'll be building and reviewing that kit for you guys in the near future, so look out for that. I also have my final review video of the Gojulus to show you guys. I know I've not shown that to you guys yet now that it's completed. I just have to finish putting some of the decals on it, and I'll be showing that to you guys soon too. So definitely check that out. I know a lot of you guys may be tuned into the series of live streams that we did building up the Gojulus kit, but that was a lot of fun. Super cool kit, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys the finished product of that. But in the meantime, definitely check this kit out if you guys are interested. Check out the rest of the lineup. If you're a fan of Zoids, or you just think these are some pretty cool looking model kits and you've not checked out any of them yet, head over to the USA Gundam Store website. The link is down in the video description below. Check out the full lineup of in-stock Zoids HMM Kotobukiya kits there. They're really, really nice. I can't recommend them enough, especially if you're looking for something that's sort of like a master grade in terms of like size and complexity, but obviously going to be a different, visually quite different from a Gundam. But anyway, a cool mecha model of a nice size and complexity. Definitely check these kits out. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys so much for your support, leaving a like, making sure you're subscribed. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope you guys all have a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye, guys.